July 29, 2024, City of Idaho Springs work session. We have 4 items on the agenda, and we'll start off with the community and business promotions. And as we had left off while Powell was still on last week, we heard a very passionate plea, and Andy had done some checking for us as far as what's left in the promotion budget for the rest of the year, just in case council had elected to staff this position. And what is there, Andy, about 25,000?
About 25,000.
Yeah.
And that's leaving a little bit of room for any other unexpected requests that come up.
Then we also talked to the Georgetown city administrator, and he said that they started their promotions person, it's full time, at 55,000. However, they were told that if they're working out, they would raise that to 60,000 at the first year. So, you know, if we were to be competitive with Georgetown, say for 5 months, there's about enough money in the promotion budget currently, you know, to fund that. Andy, can you think of anything else?
Well, in the packet is a description of the town business promotion fund and the Georgetown, the town's contribution, use of revenues, that's right out of their code. So just to give you a little frame of reference there.
So I guess before we go down the road of funding what is already established as that promotions position, is it a good idea to look and see if maybe there's a way to create, like we talked about John's job maybe being spread into 3 different jobs?
Yeah, Kate, I agree. I'm really looking forward to Lorraine's evaluation now. Is she
done?
Yeah.
No, she's in the process. She had the interviews with staff last week.
Right.
I can't speak out of turn, but I can tell you that I heard some information that might make us happy about some people that might be interested in that promotions position. Is that enough that I don't have to disclose too much? And I think it would be worth a good, like, I think this has to be an executive session because we would be mentioning names. I think at least I would be, where we talk about like what does splitting John's job look like if that is something that we want to do. But in the meantime, I think that if there is some extra money, and we're talking about Sadie, am I correct? Sadie was the one that was asking for that interim, yeah. Yeah, I'm 100% for that, so I want to just be clear. But I do think there's an opportunity for more of an executive session conversation that maybe we just talk about what that job looks like, maybe as a grant writer, promotions, and then as the assistant to what you do. You know, so 3 different things. And they don't all have to be necessarily full time, so it could be what makes the most sense.
I know we don't want to wait a long time. However, would council rather wait and see what Lorraine's evaluation was? Just, I don't know, just to talk about maybe this position is an offshoot of Jonathan's. I mean, Jonathan devoted some of his time working with Sadie on this.
Yeah.
However, Sadie has quite clearly indicated, you know, if we were still talking about this 4 months from now, she wouldn't
I
be
think
here.
we could do this within a month. I wouldn't have a problem with Sadie as interim. If we hired a permanent position, I would like to open it to, like, I never like the idea that we're going to slot one person into a job. I think we have to open it and see who, well, legally have to, but I also think like there needs to be, I don't know, like there may be some hidden talent that we don't know about. And I would hate to miss out on it.
And I think there's people that we don't know about
Sure.
that are ready to come forward is kind of where I'm going. And I'm sorry I'm being cryptic, but I just think that in the interim, I want to keep Sadie doing what she wants to do. She has the most knowledge of the special events that I know of. I mean, I know Steve's been involved and Andy's been involved, but Sadie's been really there with the businesses. So I'd like to keep on whatever the agreement that you guys want to come to about finances. I'm on board, but I just think there's a little bit more conversation to have before we really
Yep.
settled into.
And I think Sadie, she's very reasonable. She could see like, we're not kicking the can down the road. We literally are in the middle of an administrative work evaluation. We've looked into existing funds, and we've also looked into what Georgetown was successful in tracking somebody. So, I think it's moving at a pretty reasonable pace.
Well, I think it's an important job, like, I think, none of Sadie's points were bad points, and none of them were anything that I could say, oh, no, because I think every single one of her points is really important, and I've actually heard in the past week, since we had our meeting, from 3 different business owners who were like, what are you guys going to do? What is city council going to do? They're really afraid of what it's, and I think we can do it, because this city kept everybody going during COVID. Not a lot of cities can say that. That was on the backs of the city staff and the city admin. So I think we can do it. I'm with Kate, though. I would like to have more discussion. And I'm with you too. I think that 3 jobs maybe the way to go.
Yeah.
So sorry to our budget.
No, that's gotta go, logistical question I was trying to ask, so like, I don't know what's in John's job description, like what's actually
Right.
written in there. I understand he was doing this, but is this like, I don't know, I'm just curious what the actual roles were, if this was like within his job description, if this was something, above and beyond.
Didn't we write this down?
Well, essentially, I can give you a little backstory, and Chuck and Scott and Jeremy too. Everybody that lived here for a long time knew that there was like one main event a year, and most of the nonprofit clubs put on their other events. So this is basically Elks did, the rain days and things like that.
Yep.
It is somehow dominoed into the cities almost entirely doing all of these events. So over the course of, the prior city administration, Cindy Condon, to the councils, somehow that domino effect had really come down to the cities doing most of it. Now the rec center, thank God, is picking up some of the slack that was on us, and slacker came to them and things like that. But the disbursement was, John was there and it really kind of hit the fan. He's only been on board for 6-7 years. But when it really hit the fan, John was the one that said, okay, I'll do it. So was it in his description? Andy, you would know?
Not specifically.
Right.
As a liaison, for sure. Of course, he was also president of the chamber.
Right.
He chose to
That
be
one.
active in the chamber, which I commended him. Took a toll.
Good job.
But he and Sadie did wonderful work.
Yeah.
Together. But now Sadie's making it very clear that to sustain that work, we need to restructure.
Yeah.
And I fully support that, and I think the goal maybe right now is to keep Sadie on an interim basis, if that's council's direction, and then figure out how we want to structure long term.
Maybe we're expecting Rain's report like within a few weeks.
Yes, yes.
So-
Is it possible, Chuck, that we could ask if she could expedite John's particular job? Because that could.
She's not looking at John's job.
Oh, I thought he did the survey before we left.
No, he was reviewing, we're looking at the 3 or the 5 administrative support positions. We have 2 in the police department, 3 in city hall. So it's the deputy city clerk, deputy treasurer / court clerk, the administrative clerk, utility building clerk, those 3 positions here at city hall. And then police department has a records coordinator and an administrative clerk, administrative assistant. So there's those 5 positions. So really looking at the administrative support that is
So we're not
needed.
actually looking at all of our city hall staff and city departments.
Correct. Yeah, just those 5 positions. Now,
Well, we may find that we're too short or something. I'm
Oh, I
not
thought it
sure.
was,
I thought it was
more-
across the board too.
Yeah, I thought it was department heads and city hall staff.
no, just those 5 positions. So, I mean, we're poised to post the assistant city administrator position. We're just about ready to post that position. We weren't planning, I didn't think we were making any changes to that position.
Oh,
Now, certainly that position may need some support. I don't doubt that at all, because that position was just spread too
I
thin.
think John did did we have a city administrator before, deputy city administrator? before
No.
John?
No.
So this job was kind of like written off.
Well, John was our best and brightest,
I remember
fellow for 2 years, in graduate school, so he was with us for 2 years. And he expanded our, capacity so much and contributed so much that we realized, we really need a position like that, transformed into an assistant city administrator position to continue on. So that's what the position was created in 2020.
With that,
Yeah, I was like, I just do think like that position needs to be really clear. If there's gonna be other positions that it's not like duplicated within the assistant city administrator job description. It's like, I'm just worried about like really clean definitions of like duties and roles, and I know that's really important. So, yeah, I guess how that plays into this job description or grant writer is like a little unclear to me.
Well, and I think you're right. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I know we need this position filled, but I don't wanna put somebody in shoes that really aren't made for walking. I think we have all agreed to a certain extent that deputy administrator, grant writer, marketing, events are 3 different jobs in any other company. And obviously we're smaller, but we're, as Lisa has said many times, but we're bigger. We've got a fairly large sales tax-based budget that we need to maintain. And the only way to maintain that is by grants and having that marketing, special events.
also, I
person.
think that the job, and correct me if I'm wrong, when I read your reports and when I read John's reports, you all were going to a lot of meetings and a lot of with the construction and all the various collaborations that the city does. I feel like those require bodies. And it doesn't seem like it's lessening. It seems like
Well, grant writing is probably going to grow. If the concerns of the businesses are high on our priority list, we're going to need to ask for more money if we have less sales tax base.
I don't see the assistant city administrator position's role of overseeing all of those
Okay.
functions.
yes.
Changing. So to answer your question, Janine, I think the role of the assistant city administrator is be in that role, but also to oversee administration department, public works department, police department, water wastewater department, water facilities department. So I don't see that changing. I think really what we're just talking about is capacity. Okay, do we want to, that assistant city administrator would still oversee grant writing, which is such an important part of what we do and our ability to get our projects done. That person would still be overseeing that function, even if there is a person who that is his or her main job. So I don't see that changing. So that's really what we're looking at with Elaine's study is the division of duties, responsibilities in the existing positions we have and what other positions might we need in order to keep our capacity where it needs to be. Does that make sense? So I think there's that is kind of a overarching position, is what I would say, the assistant city administrator. Question is, can that person continue, and particularly if we establish take a bigger role from the chamber for business promotion, special events, community promotion, we're gonna need more capacity there. So I think that may be probably will be another position. We're already seeing, at least on an interim basis, would be another position. But that would likely report to the assistant city administrator.
And that's fine, and that's fine. And then, one of the things I was thinking about with grant writers, I mean, how many grants was John writing a year?
Maybe that's probably a decent number.
And give me how long it takes to do that, like, give me the biggest one and how long it.
Well,
it
the
takes on
raise
paper.
plan, the federal grant was our biggest lift.
Right.
That was huge.
Just give me roughly hours, because I'm trying to figure it out in my brain. You don't have to be correct, Andy, I'm just, yes, yes.
There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of coordination. We typically, on any grant, there are a lot of people involved.
Right,
We have our
right.
engineers involved, I do review. We have whatever department we're working with, we have each department head contribute information, whether it's police on the.
So you're saying it's
Organization.
full-time?
That to a grant writer?
Yeah,
It would certainly probably could be.
Okay.
I would need to think about that just a little bit, to be frank, and whether there might be some other duties assigned that position as well.
well, and what I was thinking is.
It comes and it goes.
It does,
And
it has a flow,
a
yeah.
lot of it is coordination and oversight. Yes, somebody's got to write all the narrative and pull everything together. But
I was
you know,
just wondering if it could be in the county a shared position, therefore a shared cost,
Liberty County does have a full-time grants writer.
right?
So that's a possibility too.
And
Our
I
budget
would
is
just,
similar.
sorry, go ahead.
Isn't our budget similar to Clear Creek? No, they're a lot more.
Yeah, they're all.
But we get like percentage wise, we get a lot of grants.
Well, we do, and I was just gonna chime in with the, full-time versus, like half-time thing. There's also all of the reporting requirements.
Great point.
So you may have, a half-time position, maybe be completely overloaded with a federal grant and all the reporting requirements, that go with it, so.
Yeah, the grant,
I just don't know enough about grant writing to.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Mayor. It's not just the grant writing, but then it's the reporting and then the requirements for the federal grants. We have a planning grant and one after a capital grant. They're astronomically more reporting. So there's a lot to that. I mean, I do a lot of the reporting now. So I mean, I can tell you there's a lot to it.
when you have to
There's
keep.
accounting,
you have to
there's
keep on a
the
schedule,
finance, it's the tracking, there are always issues that come up that you have to resolve, so there's a lot to it.
Well, I would fully expect that any grants that you give in here, grant writer, they go through the new deputy administrator and you.
Yep.
Before we
And
ship them out.
That won't change, that won't change.
Jeremy, your thoughts?
Not sure full-time grant writers is the solution, but I think that the Marine strike and maybe two-thirds of the job.
Yep.
And a third of the job is mostly is a gap. Just from my perspective, I write a ton of grants for the Marine 10 grants. It's not my entire existence.
I'm sure.
It's a portion.
Right. I mean, I really did want it to be like, and when I was thinking about it, that it would be a shared position, but I did know that it was a big job. I just didn't know how big it was to us.
I think there could be some other duties, as Jeremy just said. I
Something
think
later fair.
assigned to it, because there are other needs that we have that we're not, we need to get done.
Right.
We need someone to do that.
They have to have some connectivity to the city as well. So that was a great thing about
But
John
also
and Sadie.
connectivity to like the organizations, because one of the things, like I've talked to Jonathan about various grants. And he knew a lot of the people that dealt with the state grants and the rural grants and, like, there's that part of it too, knowing who to talk to, how to write the grants, what's the best way to present the grant. I think that's why I keep thinking, I would like a grant writer, somebody who thinks that way. I don't necessarily think that. I would like someone who does think that way to continue bringing that benefit to us.
Well, and, along those lines, Jonathan is, in my opinion, extremely fast. What I would have struggled with for a week, he would knock out, in like an afternoon.
Well, he knew where to go to.
He really
That's really
did,
why
yeah.
we want continuity on the grants. We want somebody that every year, we're going back to the same guy or gal, and, we're ready to roll. If he had that down pat.
But going back to the marketing thing, do we feel like that is a 32-hour plus week job? 32-hour plus.
Depends on what you're talking about. If you're covering the chamber, if you're covering all the special events, and you're covering the marketing, I could see it between 32 and 40.
So are we also, is this indicative that we're also gonna work on creating the fatality board? I actually
Yes.
feel that
That
we
would be
do this,
in
we don't do
conjunction, right?
board.
I mean, with council's direction, I think that's the way that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's in
To
conjunction.
formalize the Vitality Task Force into a community promotion, business promotion, special events group.
And we take the special
So
events out of the
something's
admin
saying-
in the office and we put it on one person who's kind of overseeing all of it. Wouldn't that make kind of most sense?
Under, again, the oversight.
Of course, under, yeah.
I think that would also help businesses. I think one of the things that the businesses appreciate, just my impression, is having that direct line to city hall. Like, Jonathan represented the city, so they had that direct line to city hall. They knew they were being heard, because that's what I hear a lot of it, people feel like they're heard. I think that's an equally important aspect of this.
Lisa, I agree, try as we might, there's always businesses that feel, very undervalued, if not outright,
Ignore it.
completely unappreciated. And, the last, just this last Vitality board meeting, folks were very concerned about the snow removal. And, you know, I had to say, there is no small city that can take on almost an entire year's worth of snow in one event and just knock it out in a day. You know, I mean, it was going to take several days. And I pointed out, yes, we appreciate you. We understand that $4.8 million worth of sales tax that we collect this year is directly from you. And I pointed out the main parking lot got plowed out pretty quick. Minor Street, you know, yeah, I mean, it did present problems. We had a lot of obstacles there as well with that we're not gonna have this winter. And I'm just saying, you always have some folks downtown that feel like maybe the city is one not to be trusted or they're inefficient, or I just think there's always folks that consider that. And I think if we, you know, look at this promotions budget and we have somebody really ramrodding the marketing aspect, they've got to feel better. I mean, I know we're gonna have some parking challenges when the structure is being built. We're gonna have I-70 impacts for the next 4 years. And I know they're nervous about it. But, you know, we can mitigate by trying to have some marketing, and I think formalizing the task force is something that I think we can probably all agree on pretty easily. Scott, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think waiting for Lorraine's study is going to tell us a lot. I think Andy has a pretty good grip on the duties. I mean, I don't want to reinvent it too much until we get that study, and then we can branch some of that off, I think, accordingly. But
Are we able to talk right now about what our compensation for Sadie would be like?
Well, right now, Sadie is paid.
No. Minimum compensation, 25 to 30 hours a week, $3,500, we pay approximately $87 per hour, which falls within the estimated range. If you look at what Georgetown is making, that's not in it.
Right, so, yeah, they hired her on at 55 and it's 60, January 1st.
I think also though, if we do this as an interim, that gives us time to allow Sadie to work in the role, allow this task force to, I'm hoping to get this task force going.
Would she do that as part of the role? She's like,
No, we would do the task force, we would have to turn it into a board.
Well, that would continue, we continue doing what we're doing. It's just we need her to stay on.
But I would also want us to evaluate at the end of the year.
Right.
Like, is this worth it? Is this, you know, something that is worth investing in for us, are there different ways to do it? I wouldn't want to just do it. I would like this to be an interim where we evaluate how this works for us.
Well, it has been working though, right? I mean, right, it has been working.
Well, I think it worked as
We've
a-
met ever since the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And the businesses and the city wanted to continue it because it's so successful.
Yeah, you know how hard it is to get people to volunteer, right? I mean, I don't care if we're talking, you know, about variants or HPRC, but they turn out for these vitality meetings.
Yep.
You know, we usually have anywhere from like 12 or maybe even 18.
has anybody asked Sadie if this is something that she'd want to do full time?
Well, this is her proposal.
For full time?
So, Georgetown,
This is interim.
pays 20,
Yeah, about an
20.85
hour.
an hour, January 1st for the same position. I'm all for our contractor rates, this is awesome. But there is no way that there's $87.50 an hour.
Yeah, I would agree with it.
On any day of the week. I don't make that as a consultant in a different industry. I'm way more money. I don't make that in my job. So I would be hard pressed to pay anybody at that level for what we're talking about.
I don't have a
It's
problem
way above
negotiating.
I don't think this math is correct though, because if she's saying 3,500 a month,
For
4 weeks
120
in a
hours.
month.
Every year you get to break that out.
Right, but even if you just take it as a monthly, 3,500 a month,
Yeah,
$45 a
42.
week. 3,500 divided by 100 hours a month is.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was going 3,500 times 12, 42,000.
So I think that the 87 to 100,000 hours might just be.
I mean, you know, there might be some marketing agency that's throwing that out there. But I'm with Jeremy, I don't think we're gonna do the, you know,
I'm on support of what she does, he doesn't make it up. I would have a hard time justifying that kind of expense. We don't pay engineers for that.
$100 an hour would be like $210,000
Exactly.
a year,
That's-
which is.
that's exactly
far
right.
more than 3,500 a month. So
Yeah.
that's what.
So I think you're right, the math is awesome.
well,
3,500 is not horrible.
no, well, I don't, I mean, I don't even think, you know what, Georgetown, if it was 55 to 60, I mean, I could see attracting somebody, especially that, you know, is very marketing driven person. You know, we'll see, it seems to be working for them. It's not,
And we're talking about this city employees, then, is that right?
Yes.
They report back to Andy.
To Andy
And the
assistant city
the assistant.
administrator.
right,
So you're still under the jurisdiction of the council as well, I mean, obviously, Andy,
Right.
you know, tells us what's going on.
Accountability and what they're doing.
They have to do
For
something.
that money.
Well, that's the I mean, at least in my experience, that was always the problem with marketing versus sales. Sales is very, this is what I did. Marketing is, what are you doing? Are you doing anything?
and sometimes marketing is hard to quantify.
That's what I'm
For
saying.
sales, let's just say I get a,
It's proof is in the
Proof-
pudding.
and the proof
Exactly,
is in the
right.
pudding, yeah,
How
exactly.
much did you sell?
I think that in this, marketing will be including because we have events that have to happen. You need
Right.
to show us how you're gonna handle that, please. Like, you need action plans for what is coming in the next 12 months. for us.
sure,
And again, I know that Georgetown, Idaho Springs have always had this sort of like sibling relationship, if you will. But if that person's doing well in their position, it would behoove them to help this person do
Oh,
well in our
exactly.
position, because I think there's a great play back and forth. I send people down here all the time when I'm up there and vice versa.
100%.
So we need, you know, the towns need to be doing that for each other all the time. That's marketing, by the way, unquantifiable as a librarian.
That's right.
So $30 an hour, 30 hours a week is 46. That's going to be, as a public goes on base, it's not.
I know.
I think that's,
So there was something wrong with the math, right?
the math on her thing is wrong.
It
That's
looks
why
kind of
we did the
wonky.
math, but it's
But I
just
can't
Looking
pronounce
at what that rate needs to be, it's something for the hours. What that rate would be. And I think even from our market, we have a greater number of businesses in Georgetown, so
Far better.
demand on that position will be greater than what she does in Georgetown drastically.
Absolutely, 100%.
So I think we're gonna have to pay a little more than Georgetown does to be competitive because of their work.
Exactly.
I would support that 100%.
Okay, and I agree.
And that basically would move cities from $900 a month to $900. Would be a reasonable way to keep it on. Opposite for the workers.
I think that's, I'm glad you did the math, Jeremy.
The market rate. It's-
As long as
Well, I mean, we have to be in the realm of what works in Clear Creek County. I mean, that's what we're gonna discuss here in a few minutes.
Okay,
is
very.
like- So Clear Creek County, however you wanna look at it.
You need
Yeah,
to
but thanks
see,
for doing that.
if you can't see sales, I wanna see profits.
Well, yeah, you know, like one thing Sadie had shared with us is like, one of the most common requests we have, especially from people who've been here for a while, they really miss the farmer's market. And, Sadie said, you know, you need to get rolling like 9 months or 10 months in advance to get your vendors and stuff like that.
That is not a 1 hour week position.
The farmer's market is like, this is full-time summer job.
Another area, Mayor, that it's an opportunity for us is to be more involved in the Main Street program through the state. Right,
Oh, yeah. Main
historic
Street America.
communities have a Main Street program, and we're registered at the first level, but we really aren't.
We're not
We
quite
want to
there
go to
yet,
the
are
next
we?
level. We could do more in that area. I think this position perhaps could be involved in that, helping us get to the next
Good
level.
idea.
Is everybody okay, formalizing the, vitality task force?
Sure.
Yes.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. It's like you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, it's working really well.
I'm working for 4 years voluntarily.
Yeah, yeah. Before I move on, I just want to make sure, is there anything further that we should discuss with the motions?
I've gathered the direction is to move forward in discussions with Sadie about an interim
Yes.
position. Continue on.
With Jerry's numbers down is the,
$3.
The
That
offer.
seems reasonable, $3 an hour for $900 a week. Which is more than that's what she's making per month now.
Yeah.
She's been working for pennies,
well,
finishing a volunteer position up in Belton. I know it's good.
that would she be, as an interim employee, able to get any sort of our benefits?
Well, I guess that'd be part of the negotiations,
Yeah,
whether she's
contract.
truly a contract employee or whether she's a
Right.
city employee. I could go either way on that. I think if she wants benefits, it might be better to have her put that forward.
It's, if we're doing this as a contract interim, I would like to make something like doing a contract starting at the beginning of the year.
And then do interim from here to there, just
Like
not too
just,
much?
like we talked about doing interim, you know, interim for what? Okay, interim for the rest of 2024, and then we have a city position that starts in 2025.
I think this is.
And I
She
think we
may
have to
prefer
open
be a
that.
contractor.
Pardon me?
She may prefer to be a contractor in the interim.
There's some benefits to it.
Okay, anything further? Well,
All right,
well,
I'll take your word for it.
We'll move on to the next couple items are very related. And this is the compensation for city administrator, assistant city administrator, and police chief. We were just going to dive into it last meeting with Power. In the interest of transparency, it was postponed. And I just want to hear is there anybody against the range that we have? The reason why we haven't crossed this bridge is because we're gonna post Jonathan's job. And we really couldn't post the job and give a salary range and not address Chief and Andy have been very close with their wages. And I think I told you, Jonathan started day one, never doing that job one day at every bit as much as Andy is after being on the job all these years. So
Just so that it's clear for anybody watching that what we're raising them to get them to
mid-range,
mid-range
yes.
for
And that's-
small towns,
and
not
that's the
for
CML.
Denver or
Yeah,
Summit,
that-
but for small town America.
Yeah, so we're not just taking
An
you know,
arbitrary-
a wag at this. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a CML salary survey that we referenced.
Oh,
And we are just trying to get to the middle range.
Yes, something fair so we can keep our employees.
Well, and you know, it also, I think, sets us up for success. It's a good insurance policy. If people are being paid competitively, at least in the mid-range, there should be less desire to feel maybe undercompensated and look around. But also, as positions open up, as they occasionally do, or at least in the middle of the pack. So, would everybody be for
Totally fine.
approving this?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, very good. And then I did ask around with other mayors. And I have mayors meetups and things pretty regularly, every couple of months. And at least for the city administrator, it is much more common to have a contract. And that's why I proposed, frankly, I'm surprised Andy was hired in here without one. But that
We're the gentleman's handshake.
we're definitely at a competitive disadvantage if we don't have that. Frankly, you know, this is a right to work state. There could be just even a couple of key council people change over, and Andy could be dismissed for really just very low reason. You know, so at least if it's for cause, there is no additional compensation. But if it's not for cause, then he at least has a little bit of benefit.
It's a severance.
Right. So
I
just
read
try,
your contract, I didn't think that was
yeah, he definitely, and he was never seeking any kind of a golden parachute or anything. Carmen, I know, has worked with other cities on these type of things. And it's in keeping with what other cities currently do. And again, Jonathan and Andy and our police chief never once complained to me or even hinted that, we were, not appreciative. So, but I did think at this point in time, as we're hiring a Jonathan replacement, would be the
Would that also
time
be a
for,
contracted,
I'm sorry,
would that also be a contracted position?
Jonathan?
With the assistant city.
No.
Not-
No, it's just very common for the city. Anyone against that? Okay, then I will go to our last item, which would be very easy. I think Paul and the chief have got some surplus equipment that we're looking to peddle.
Yes, I didn't see it in the packet.
It was in the last package.
It was in the other packet.
Yeah.
Just in case, I just brought some copies just in case.
Thank you.
So when Jonathan left, I was just trying to help out. So I told Andy, I said, I'll put this
We
together,
appreciate that.
and then we still need to.
Everybody's been
What's a
helping
track
out.
excavator?
That is it's one of the big excavators, but ours is kind of a smaller excavator,
So
but
clear
not.
driveway?
No, it wouldn't fit in the driveway.
I was just thinking.
This is a 307. That 307 is kind of it's good for nothing and absolutely useless for everything.
Sounds like a good purchase.
So do we have things that-
They're gonna sell that really fast with that motto.
Right now, we use a backhoe.
Somebody will want it.
I know, I know. If it's like a plow, sure, it makes sense.
No,
That
well,
might be.
that is our rubber wheel is Komatsu. That's the loader that you probably see most likely. For our dig, this is the guy that has the big scooper bucket on it, it's the
Okay.
excavator. But this one doesn't have a loader bucket on the other end, that's the rubber wheel that we use.
So what my question is, well, we're not like hamstringing, so.
No, we have used the track excavator a handful of times in 20 years. It's metal tracks, we can't use it on the roadways. We'll scar up and tear up the roadways. It's too big to fit in the cemetery, too small to do much of anything else.
But Paul, you actually do have a wish list, and I'm not really getting off topic, I'm just talking about maybe recycling some of these funds next year, because there is something that you can really use.
Well, everyone wants a motor grader, which would really help with the third rows that we do have. The motor grader will help pull the material back in. Right now, currently we use the loaders to do that. Basically, we're just furling the material off to the edges, and we can't really reclaim that stuff. So the grader would help in that aspect. What we really need instead of this track excavator is a smaller mini excavator. We've rented several times for the cemetery. That's been really helpful there. But with the rubber tracks on a mini excavator, we can also use that on the roadways. So it won't be on this year's budget, but or this year's ask, or next year's ask, but probably the following years when we try and ask for something of that nature. Right now, we can do everything we need to do with the backhoe and just the rental of a mini excavator. But this, the track excavator here was, we spent a lot of money on it and we don't use it.
So Mayor, we're just looking for permission from council to dispose of the property, those are the channels to auction it off.
Council, all right with disposing of the property?
Absolutely, but do they always have to come and ask us for this kind of stuff?
Well,
She asked me that very question.
I'm like, I don't see the purpose of this. You're in charge of the equipment. We have to trust you.
I think for financial transparency.
I think it could still be in a packet, I just,
Let me say this, it's in our best interest to approve these. This was coming in on the lakeside.
Thank you. Just
too late with that. Hey, say it out loud, I didn't hear you.
It was the lakeside sheriff.
It takes us 10 minutes to talk about this.
No, just give me a 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Can you do a 30-second overview?
I,
Do a 30-second overview. What happened? 30
30
seconds.
seconds.
Indicted.
So what did they do?
The sheriff was auctioning off vehicles, at least largely the sheriff. And someone else, I think it was a relative, was it,
Buying
His
them?
daughter was
Daughter,
buying
that's
them and
right.
reselling them at a higher
for
price.
like 4 times
Jeez
as much.
Louise, man, I can't trust anybody.
That's why this conversation.
Except you guys, I trust
And
you.
I should say alleged.
Right, it's not proving it, but it's probably true.
So this is.
I did not know
that.
Transparency.
I tried
What's going on?
I'm trying to stay on top of stuff, I did not hear that story, all right. Okay, so that for the near future, you guys have to come to us.
One particular thing was, the car, they sold a car that was under the PD's, administration. Sold to his daughter for $1,000. She ended up flipping that car for like $35,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
It's been around forever.
It wasn't like.
My neighbor did that to me, but it wasn't illegal, it
No.
was just my bad choice.
Okay, now we can talk.
All right.
Hey,
All right.
You have our blessing.
Yeah, go for it.
we'll take a break and reconvene about 7. I would like to tease you a bit, if it is true. While I was cruising down the interstate in Houston a couple weeks ago, there's a crafty lawyer, I don't know how he's not this smart, but the sign literally says, just because you did it
All distress. That's the nicest way I could put it.
Yeah.
Come on, Missy.
You may not
Yeah.
really notice it a whole lot.
Hey, I think, they did not continue the process, but I think for your reference.
Oh, really? Was it at the mill? That's what I kept hearing.
I don't know. They said that, the position is not open and, we will not be doing this for the. Dang it.
I heard it was at the mill, definitely. So I don't know.
Who went to the Argo opening?
Oh, I did.
Was it
good.
fun?
Very good.
I kind of worked.
Dylan, no
My God.
rush, but just let me know when you're ready. Oh, we are ready, okay. Well, hello, I would like to, welcome everybody to the July 9th, 2024, regular city council meeting. And, we'll start at 7:02. And we'll start off with, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani. Here. Jim Clark. He's muted.
Here, if you can hear me.
Papano.
Here.
Lisa Manifold.
Here.
Kate Collier.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Here.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Here. All please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. We have an agenda before us tonight. Do I have a motion?
2024 meetings.
Thank you, Scott. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Lisa. And any discussion of the minute or the agenda? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand and saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Does anyone tonight feel they have a conflict of interest? All right, hearing none, I will move on to approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes from July 2024.
Thank you, Janine. And do I have a second? Second from Jeremy. And any discussion of the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand and signify by saying aye. Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? And moving to the bills for July 22nd, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the bills to July 22nd, 2024.
Thank you, Jeremy. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Lisa. And any discussion or questions of the bills? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Papano.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold. Yes. Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Do we have any public comment tonight, either online or, well, obviously we don't have anybody in person.
Nothing online there.
Oh, okay, well, thank you. And do we have our finance officer with us tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay. Then we will move to resolutions, starting with resolution number 15. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve resolution number 15, series 2024, resolution amending the 2024 city compensation plan to amend salary ratings of the city administrator, assistant city administrator.
Thank you, Jeremy. And do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Janine. And any discussion?
Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Papano.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Moving to resolution number 16. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve resolution 16, series 2024, resolution approving an employment agreement with Administrator.
Thank you, Scott. And do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Lisa. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani. Jim Clark.
Yes.
Papano.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Moving to ordinance first reading, starting with number 16. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve ordinance number 16, series 2024, ordinance amending section 21-15 of the Idaho Springs Municipal Code to eliminate occupancy limits based on familial relationships as required by new state law HB 24-1007.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I have a second? Second from Jeremy. And any discussion?
I always say this is about time. It's about time.
Anything further?
It's safely, right? It says up to a maximum number that may safely occupy, so it's.
Like FHA, those are FHA guidelines, that if you have a room with a queen bed, you can have 2 people and 1 child.
Before you can have as many family members as you want.
No, you were limited with family members, but if you were over, I think 4, you have to be limited by familial bonds and relationships. This allows somebody in a 4-bedroom house to have a room.
Well, and it did vary a bit by city. I'm specifically thinking of Fort Collins and the College. They were the first one I can remember that passed that.
This is following state law.
Yes. Anything further? All right, hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Ralph Knopf.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Steve Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Hart.
Yes. Moving to number 17, do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve number 17, series 2024, an ordinance granting conditional use to conditional use for the location of a temporary construction trailer, associated parking and outdoor storage on property west of the Shelley Quinn Ball Fields, also known as part of the Silver Spruce annexation for the duration of the CDOT Floyd Hill project.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from. Discussion.
Is that going to place? For rep? Is that in there already?
I know the trailer is there. It wouldn't be occupied until after the second reading, isn't that correct? Right. So that would be after.
Okay.
Yeah, no. this is
Good,
not-
honey.
Yeah.
Is this just because it doesn't meet current zoning? ordinance?
Well, it's similar to earlier this year, the camping CUP that we approved, it's the same property. And so, we established with that one that there's no allowed uses other than those that get approved facility. Gotcha. Which necessitates.
All right, anything further? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani. Jim Clark.
Yes.
Ralph Knopf.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Steve Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Hart.
Yes. And tonight we only have one second reading, number 15. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 15, series 2024, and ordinance adding a new article 4 of chapter 5 of the Idaho Springs Municipal Code to create a historic sites and facilities board.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Kate. Any discussion?
Just a little bit. So what I'd like to talk about at a future date, we don't need to do it now, is just set into some, sites and facilities, if I'm correct, Lisa, has rules about how we oversee our historic buildings. Am I correct?
So sites and facilities was never an official board. It was always sort of a volunteer board.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
so wasn't it required by our state standing with
no.
historic? Okay,
No.
It was an agreement that was hashed out, as best I can tell, between the Historical Society and the City Council, but it wasn't official, so we didn't have like official, rules, we didn't
That's
have
right.
regulations. We
okay,
didn't have official meetings, so I believe they went 4.5 years without meeting, which is to the detriment of our buildings,
Sites.
but also it put a lot of burden on our staff because these buildings still needed to be taken care of.
right,
Which
right.
meant staff took care of it as they, so the creation of this will allow, like, I worked with HBRC on this, where we see this going, and there will be, a protocol for how things are addressed. There will be making sure that things are addressed from a preservation standpoint. Not every building has to do it, it's our historic buildings. But also, so that people on sites and facilities go out and look, like, we went out and looked at all of the facilities this year, and it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening. And I don't know when the last time nobody on the current HBRC had gone out and looked at them before. So they have to go out and look at them every year. They have to create a list of, here's what's really in danger, here's what will look like 2 years down the road. They have binders of what is done and what needs to be done. But they're also putting eyeballs on the,
And how about processes for repair?
yes, there are, we actually, in a work session, I don't know if you were here for that work session, we hashed out this ordinance.
Okay, great.
Pretty
So-
I just thought that was important when
It's
you're gonna form
nothing
the
that's
board. have the
required. I
rules.
think it's, the formation of this board was to help the city facilitate keeping these buildings in repair and needed upkeep.
Right.
I think that's what.
I'm 100%
this-
behind this, just so you know.
Well, because for the last like 5 years, all we've had is like, oh God, something's falling down. And then
No guidance.
no guidance and nobody's overseeing. So this is to allow oversight. for that. It's also a baby, if you can't tell.
Anything further? All right, I have a first and a second, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani.
Yes.
Jim Clark.
Yes.
Bucknell.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold. Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Moving along to, the opioid settlement, Carmen, welcome. Good to see you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm glad you all survived the last week's excitement.
The new, is it, we're talking about the new lady?
No, no.
I'm still waiting for that story.
That's coming up. That wasn't us.
Power outage.
The power outage. Yeah,
Oh, that one, yeah.
that excitement.
You were in the
Uh,
dark.
There's something that's more exciting than you know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Love good families.
As you, I hope Mayor and Council read in your packet, and in my memo to you dated July 8th, for the past about, 3 years now, the city has been participating in, certainly nationwide, but also here in Colorado, a series of settlements that have come about as a result of the opioid epidemic, and settlements that essentially resolved lawsuits against both the producers and distributors of opioids, again, nationwide, but also here in Colorado. We have, as a city, participated now in 9 specific settlements against, as you can see in the memo, defendants such as Johnson & Johnson, I think Walmart, CVS, Walgreens. This most recent settlement is with the Kroger company. And because the city has previously taken action to become a member of the statewide Colorado IGA and MOU about how these settlement funds will be dispersed to communities, because we're already a member and you as the city council have taken action previously to opt into that. Now, when these settlements come through one by one or in groups, all that you, council, are required to do to approve the city's participation, ongoing participation in these settlements, is a simple motion. And I have at the bottom of that memo of mine in your packet a suggested motion to approve the city's participation in this most recent settlement. With that, I'm happy to answer questions.
Council, any questions?
Are these funds,
Lead them dry.
leave them dry, that's fine. But no, are these funds restricted in how we use them?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They must be dispersed and spent specifically to efforts to remediate, respond to opioid issues. And again, we have previously signed on and participated in a region-wide project to decide how that's done. We do have a representative. It used to be John. I'm not sure who that is now. Maybe that's you, Andy. But we have a seat at the table for our region to decide how those funds are dispersed. But yes, they must be related to the opioid epidemic in some way.
Could that be, is it preventative, or could it be helping the police department and maybe the department heads, the school, the libraries, have the Narcan, right? Narcan?
They
Yes.
have different categories. It's drugs. So there's like the money to get the advocates for recovery at the wellness center.
Oh, nice.
So that group like decides which point, like what is the biggest impact and where they want them to go. And
Oh, nice.
I think it's gone to like not the police force, but like the response, like I don't know, emergency response, I guess.
Co-responders.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
All right, any further questions for Carmen? Yeah. Carmen, thank you very much. Sure appreciate it.
Yes, sir, Mayor.
I would like to read the motion. I move to approve the opioid settlement participation and release form between the city and the Kroger company, and authorize the mayor, myself, and the clerk to execute the same. Do I have a second? second from Janine. And any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Dean Marriott. Jim Clark.
Yes.
Oppenheim.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold.
Yes.
Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. All right, we will move to city administrator. There is a $1 million grant motion and, or I should say request. Do we have a motion?
Sure, I'll move to approve a $1 million energy impact assistance fund grant application to the Colorado Department of Local Affairs, DOLA, for the replacement of the Montane water storage tank.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second? Second from Jeremy. And any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Dean Marriott. Jim Clark.
Yes.
Oppenheim.
Yes.
Lisa Manifold. Yes. Kate Collier.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones.
Yes.
Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. And Andy, before we move from city administrator, I just want to make sure you didn't have anything further.
Nothing further.
All right.
I do have a question. What is the, what's the timeline on this particular grant?
It's due August 1st, so we're just in the final stages of preparing it.
Oh, so it's due this week.
It's due this week, but our best and brightest, Maria, has really stepped up to help us put this together. We have JDA, which is helping us with a lot of technical information that goes into that grant application. Ed, Paul have all contributed to that, and everybody's reviewing it. So it is due August 1st. Typically, the hearings, if you move on in the process, the hearings are several months later, and then we might know before the end of the year if we get it.
Okay. Thank you.
Well,
All right. Of course, we don't currently have the city assistant administrator. We will move to Dylan. Just wanted to make sure you didn't have anything further to show us tonight.
Nothing for me.
Okay, well, thank you. And then Wonder, anything further to share?
No, Mayor.
Okay, well, thank you.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
We collected $5,074.76 for plastic bags and paper bags. And what does that money get? What fund does that go?
Hopefully garbage.
We have used that, I'll tell you, in the past for city cleanup. I don't think we exhausted all of it, but actually because Doyle gave us a super deal on the dumpsters. But
5,002
yeah,
It,
right.
it would go nicely hand
Wow.
in hand if we actually were a recycling city with outlawing plastic. Something to think about.
And there's like 11 stores, I think, that are required to submit bag fees. Just 11 in Idaho Springs. And then that ad for the vacancies has been posted. It will run the 1st and the 8th.
Oh, thank you.
So I want to let you know that.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. I know it's something that all of us from time to time do wonder about.
And we did go ahead and include the Historic Sites Facilities Board.
Oh,
in
excellent.
anticipation it would get
Yeah.
approved, so we're trying to move that along, deadline.
August 22nd. So Thursday before the next council meeting. So
Very good.
I thought we kind of decided not to do the deadlines because what we really want is people to sign up and not
Well,
feel
I
like.
think because we're creating this new website, hopefully it'll be live very soon. It's very interactive. Like I already have that posted on there,
Oh,
the
nice.
ad. So I can like post things in live, and I'm gonna have a place that's always welcoming letters of interest.
Okay,
for all the
all right,
boards.
dig it. I like
Have you
it.
seen
Okay.
that list? We have plenty.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make this push now for this particular new board.
Yeah, yeah.
So we went ahead and advertised some. of the other
I am
ones.
working on that. I swear.
I have one other thing to say about that recycle. Paul might get upset about this, but
Probably.
is there
What do
any
you got? What do you
way,
got?
is there any way we could up our recycling where we have trash containers? Can we sometime in the future look at doing recycle containers of some sort?
Like the 3.
I mean, that would be, Paul might say it just might be a nightmare of a job, but to
It is-
collect recyclables as well as the trash, but
It is a logistics thing, so we have to have a place to take it to. We have a place, I mean,
so
It's
it's
fine to say we
possible
recycle,
to
but-
collect. It's just a matter of,
where do we take it to? The transfer station is closed 5 days out of the week.
I don't know if other cities are doing that, but it's, you know, an effort to up our ante.
Yeah, but Chris will tell you the
I
same
agree with
thing.
you.
It's a waste of
Yeah, I
time.
know.
something worth looking into.
I think it is, I think.
I think it is, I think it is the right thing
Might
to
as well burn
do.
that first, yeah.
Logistics is a challenge, you know, what do we do with those recycling materials? We are getting new trash cans downtown, those bear-proof trash cans from, like we got from, CPW, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and some of our parks. We have talked about designating a few of those cans as recycling. So some of them might have, so we're trying to be better positioned for that. But as far as where to take the materials, that is a challenge.
Plus, you have to have the user that abides by it, because I've seen people put trash
Yeah,
in a recycle.
right.
Unfortunately,
You can't make them this smart.
That's part of the logistics of sorting it as well. So
yes.
you have a container of plastic, not all plastics, so to start recyclable plastics.
I think that we can look at just, I think we can look at like Seattle. If you go to Seattle, they have completely done, like they separate all this stuff out. It is a cultural shift, like it's a cultural mindset shift. I don't think that's a bad thing to do. Because when I was there, like they were like, oh no, put your stuff, you know, and if you went and you hesitated, people would say, oh no, it goes there. So they have changed the mindset of the people that live there. I think we can do the same thing.
All right, thank you, Wonder, and we'll move on to Chief. Another good report, good press release, most unfortunate situation. We do have a motion that would be needed, and I just want to be clear, although this is under police, this will also include Paul Crane's submission of surplus equipment as well. So with that, do I have a motion?
I'll move to surplus the vehicles and equipment listed in the dry 2024 chief of police staff report.
Thank you very much, Janine. And do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Scott. And any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani,
Yes.
Jim Clark,
yes,
Capano,
Yes.
Lisa Manifold,
Yes.
Kate Collier, Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones, Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. And Chief, just want to make sure you didn't have anything further to share?
No, I don't think.
Oh, okay, thank you. And Public Works, we do have a $30,000 request. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve up to $30,000 for traffic control on Virginia Canyon Road to facilitate construction of an emergency access trail for Virginia Canyon Mountain Park from line item 21-00-6024.
Thank you, Kate. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Lisa. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Janine Mariani, Jim Clark,
here, yep,
Capano,
Yes.
Lisa Manifold,
Yes.
Kate Collier,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jeremy Jones, Mayor Chuck Harmon.
Yes. Paul, anything further?
We finally, it did not make the cut for this council packet, and it probably could have been added to it later. I just kind of fell off my plate. It would be on the next one. But we did get approved for we have to spend the money, and the state or the federal will refund us for those bear camps. So that was finally approved.
Oh, nice.
That finally came through, and the process for getting that done. So that will be on the next council packet.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, thank you. Ed, we have your report. I just wanted to check in and see if you had anything.
This was last week's report.
Oh, yeah.
So last week I had in there that the digester 2 was scheduled for repair on the 19th. That was done. We filled it back up and got that one running and completed. We drained number 1, and our team with the city of Idaho Springs worked the weekend and finished that side and got it all cleaned up and put back together.
All right. Nice job working, working all right?
Is 2 falling apart as well, or number 1 falling apart as well?
Or, no, it wasn't falling apart at all. There were missing aeration heads. So it did fill the grid with sludge. But since it didn't fall apart, it had packed sludge into all those lines, probably 8 feet deep. I wasn't expecting that. But we got it jetted. And it's back on today and tested. It's back online. Next week, we'll have a thing to talk about with the flow monitoring. We have coagulant back at the water plant, shipping. Some kind of issue with the shipping that we ordered a month ago and didn't come. That's there and back, and we're only out for a couple of days. Matty Dam starting next month.
I'm sorry, what's starting?
Matty Dam construction.
Oh, yes.
Starting next month.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, we sure appreciate it.
It'll be nothing for next week.
Yeah, right. All right, moving along, I don't have anything. I assume we're not doing any kind of executive session tonight, okay? And I would just remind everybody that we will not have a work session, a regular meeting until the 12th. So it'll be a couple weeks. Does anyone have anything further before we adjourn? Yes.
Mayor, I do have something.
Sure, Chief.
I'm not gonna see council in a while, so I just wanted to give a quick update. The police department has been re-examining the Beth Miller case. We actually started doing this back in January of this year. We were up to staff and we had the time that we could put into doing that. So I just wanted to make council and staff aware. I mean, it's a missing person case from the early 80s. A lot of people are familiar with that case. So we've been working with CBI. Their cold case group is been outstanding. I think they had 14 boxes of reports and materials. They've been compiled, so that's all been digitized. We've identified some specific areas that we're interested in potentially looking at and searching again for remains. And so the case is actually being looked at again. And part of this is not just our staffing, but a lot of the people that are involved in that case are starting to get older. And so we kind of feel like we have one sort of last shot to really put in some effort on the case. So you may see a billboard go up along I-70 here in the coming week or two. And so when you said we're not meeting again for a few weeks, I figured I'd take a moment to let everybody know. We've probably put on over 500 hours into that case between myself and the two sergeants.
Chief, would you have a call out for volunteers to help search the area?
We will, when we get to that point, we'll let you know. We've actually been in contact with mine reclamation group that goes into Old Pines because there's some of that. There's some maybe some ideas there, but certainly I'll update more
Just
when we get to that.
It's a strong community, and I think there's a lot of people that would still be.
We're probably a few months out from that.
Yeah.
And we're hopeful that maybe we can do some of this before the snow flies. Yeah. But there's so much to actually still go through.
Sure.
So
we appreciate you doing
yeah,
that.
I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that. And you didn't just see the sign and wonder what's going on. So thank you.
All right, very good. Anybody have anything else?
I have, Mayor, I do. Oh,
Sorry, Jim, go ahead, Jim.
so, I would like to express a huge thanks to, Kelly Baby and Jeremy Jones, the assistant chief for saving our business 2 Fridays ago on a huge wildland fire. It came right to the far east end of our storage facility and was threatening our everything we owned. So we were honestly like, what do we leave and what do we take? But the Clear Creek Fire Authority and everybody involved, man, they were better than stellar. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, for our little old, whatever anybody calls whatever fire department, they were absolutely phenomenal, and it was absolutely insane to see real live slurry bombers, 100 feet from us and dumping big giant loads of slurry and helicopters one after the other. Close enough. I mean, I could see the pilots inside and everything, but all that was orchestrated by our fire guys and just I don't know if I got to tell enough of them guys thanks, but my wife and I and my crew, we were all here and hoping and praying to God that our whole entire facility didn't burn down, and them guys never let it happen with the U.S. Forest Service and all the efforts involved. So just wanted to really, really, really say thanks a million to everybody from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Hey, Jimmy, thank you. And for the benefit of people who may be watching out of state or see this video at some other point in time, how close would you say the flames got to your property?
Well, thank God there's a really, really big rock at the far east end of our storage lot. And we had a crummy old white Sebring back there, and the flames were licking the trunk like the devil. And it kind of got black a little bit on the trunk, and that was it. That was the only thing. So yeah, other than that, no vehicles caught fire. No, our property burnt quite a few acres on the far east end of it, and then up to on the north side. But other than trees and some just grass, wildland stuff, nothing personal and no structures. So,
all right, very good. Thank you,
yeah.
sir. Anything further? Yes, Paul.
Reconstruction of Virginia King Virginia Street is going to start up real soon. Right now, Miller Pipeline, the contractor for XL, will start this week. You'll see them in there with a back truck potholing for utilities so that when they go through, they're easy to find, they know where they are. So you'll see Miller Pipeline and Virginia Street working for XL starting this week.
All right, thank you.
What blocks of that are on Virginia Street of that?
So it's about 2.5 blocks of Virginia Street.
Is it Virginia Street, Virginia Canyon, like that?
Right. Well, that's our portion. What XL is doing is replacement of their gas main from Virginia Canyon to
22nd?
23rd Avenue.
If it goes to 23rd, okay.
I can speak, but I also have like a handout for contact, if anybody, residents have questions about that stuff for that company and what they're doing, I have a contact.
Is there any way that we can pass those out? I have actually had people concerned that the entire street's gonna be closed down for the duration of the project. And I have reassured them that when I experienced it on Wall Street, that wasn't the case, but maybe that sheet could be.
They're supposed to distribute that themselves, but I have a copy of it in case it gets missed or blown off or something. So if anybody has any questions, yeah, you can.
I would like the PDF.
If you can put it on the
Well, if you
website.
send me the PDF, I'll do it to Wall
I
Street
put it on the
Friends.
website.
Yeah, do that.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, anything further? All right, hearing none, we'll call it a